Maria, my name is Ash Singh. How are you doing today?
Good, Ash. We are doing great and super excited about the future.
Mhm.
We are Lever Photonics, and that's the company that we created about 4 years ago. And we translate optical technologies into ready and easy to use industrial and consumer applications by using artificial intelligence, like really connecting with the how people understands data. And so we are currently focused on helping craft brewers with product consistency and the brew house efficiency so they can increase how much money they make and really make their customers happy and loyal.
Mm, excellent. And Maria, how can I help you?
So right now we are really looking for connections with brewers. We are in product development, and we want to make sure that we have the right thing, that helps them
Mm,
really accomplish the goals that and solve the problems that we have identified. So any connections to the people that are responsible for managing the breweries, and the ones that are really worried about the bottom line in those breweries will be
okay,
great.
got it. Understood. Excellent. Well, I certainly feel I have some connections to help in that area. Thank you very much, Maria. All right, Maria. So that was your 1 minute elevator pitch. Now, in the chat, you will have some feedback coming in from our amazing audience. Okay. This environment is a trusted environment where we want Maria to elevate as best as she can. So Maria, I want to thank you for sharing your idea. It's great to listen and learn. So there's a learning component. What I want to do is I want to dissect a little bit your elevator pitch, right? And again, some of the feedback is that, it was very clear and precise, okay, from the audience. But for me, I wanted to, when you started talking about this optical AI piece with your first type of customers, I feel like you need to educate the audience a little bit about how the technology actually works, okay? Because it is a little bit unique, correct? So you have, like, if I am a typical investor, and let's just assume that I'm a banker, okay, right, who works on Wall Street. I need a little bit more education to fully gather how this is actually working, right? Because you brought the AI component up, but before that, you started off with the word optical, right? Can you
Yeah.
elaborate a little bit more? Let's talk a little bit about that so everyone understands what you're doing.
Sure. So the technologies are the type of technology that allows you to get the chemical composition of things by using lasers. And
Yes.
so we shoot things with lasers, and then in return, what we get is we don't destroy them. We
Yeah.
get what they are made out of
Got it.
in a
Got
lot
it.
of detail. Yeah.
Yes. And what is that term called?
Spectroscopy.
Yes, that's the word. Spectros. I have to make sure, because if I pitch this back,
Spectroscopy.
spectroscopy.
Spectroscopy. Let me type it in the chat.
If I pitch this back, I should get the words right. But if I get that word wrong, don't hold me to it, okay? Spectroscopy. Okay, I'll see it in the chat. There you go. Thank you very much. So I think understanding that and just kind of giving a realm to understand that you've leveraged this technology, and then you and your team are a team of obviously intelligent people that have hacked their way and discovered that this is really good for the assessment of the chemical compounds of a lot of different things. And your first use case is alcoholic beverages. Is that correct? Okay. And so you feel that by doing this, okay, having this in your it improves a lot of things. Being able to currently assess the compounds and the quality of a beverage is probably a lot more expensive. So knowing the difference, I think, is also important, Maria. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The current process and how with your platform and your lasers, you're able to assess things faster and assess things at a much higher level of granularity to ensure that the product is better. And so can you tell me a little bit about that, Maria? Because I wanted that to come out.
Yeah, for sure. So we will with the brewers, we really help with the entire process. We help with, for example, they're assessing the quality of the raw ingredients, and then for them making sure that they are utilizing those raw ingredients to the fullest. And then after that, we help them making sure that they know exactly when to stop and when to start the next step, so they are as efficient as possible with their equipment. And with the final product, we help them make sure that every time they make a batch is the same as the best batch they have ever made.
Got it. So it's an idea of uniformity. Is that correct, Maria?
Yeah.
It's perfect uniformity, which is important when you're creating something. But Maria, I wanted to hear some numbers as well, right? So I know sometimes it's difficult, especially with what you're doing, but how much more uniform will it be? How much faster can they assess things? And how much, how is their product going to improve? Do you have some numbers? Because obviously an investor might, or somebody who wants to help you wants to know the difference between using your new process and the current old process that's being used at places like breweries.
Yes. So the numbers that we have are related to the efficiency mostly. So we think that they can produce 20% more beer, and that they can save something like around 20% in the cost of raw ingredients.
Got it. So what you're saying is that so Maria, this is how I'm interpreting it, and it's because we're having this conversation. What you're saying is that because through your laser spectroscopy, okay, you are able to assess at a very detailed level the uniformity of the ingredients, and you're able to give recommendations, and through that process you reduce wastage of product, right? So what happens is instead of making 1,000 liters, you can do 1,200 liters because you're optimally using the ingredients. And what happens is the outcome, the production increases by 20%. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now I don't know if that came out in the pitch. Okay. Right. But I like that, right? Because why are we doing it? Right. I mean, I like the idea of like throwing lasers at beer. I mean, that sounds kind of cool, but I'm sure that gets boring after a while. They want to know how it's going to improve production. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And I felt like, these kind of components just kind of, dumbing it down and coming into that point where it's very clear in terms of what the output is going to be, right? Now, you've already got some breweries working with you, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, we are wrapping up getting the samples and getting the data so we can really launch the live product, because the idea is this is a hardware that sits in the brew house tanks, and it's monitoring in real time. And so to do that, we needed the data. So we are gathering that, gathering that data. And now our next big milestone is to have our true MVP on one of the breweries and start collecting and the information in real time and providing it back to the brewer.
Got it. Would you like me to pitch your idea back to you, Maria?
Yes, please. I'm looking forward to this.
Okay. All right. Now, I've learned some new things today, like spectroscopy. Okay. I said it twice. Hopefully so what's going to happen is Maria, we're going to go up the elevator. Once we hit the top, Maria, you get to become the person that I will pitch to, right? So you were looking for connection. So you are somebody who is the president of the Brewers Association of America, okay? Don't know if that association exists, but you're looking for connection. So somebody like that person would be important, right?
Yeah.
And once we hit the top of the elevator, you will introduce yourself, and I will try to explain it. I'm going to try and pitch it based on the feedback that I've given, and we can go from there. And I'll do it. I'll try to do it all in 1 minute. But you're looking for connections for paid pilots to get it off the ground, correct?
Correct.
All right. We're hitting the top. Maria, you can introduce yourself.
Hi, hey, I'm Maria. So nice to meet you. I am the president of the American Association for Brewers.
All right.
What are you up to these days?
Hi, Maria. Thank you for your time. My name is Singh, and I am part of the Lever Photonics team. As you know, the way you assess beer as it's being produced at breweries hasn't really changed in a very long time. But we are a team of experts in spectroscopy, and you might not know what this means, but basically we take lasers, high-end lasers that can test and understand the composition of beer as it's being developed. Now, we've created a beautiful new product that allows brewers like yourself and your association to be able to assess the quality and the uniformity of your beer at a much higher level. And if we do this well, it ends up improving your production by up to 20%. We've done some pilots in Colorado, and we want to talk to you about how we can take this revolutionary technology and revolutionize the uniformity of beer and take things to the next level. I'd love to catch up with you over a beer at your pleasure and see if we can take our product forward. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, Ash.
Is that okay? Is that okay?
Yes. That's mind-blowing. Of course, you have been doing this for a long time.
All right. so what I wanted to do, because you got to know your audience, and I just wanted them to be like, for them, 20% improvement is like, oh my God, right? That is something that they are thinking about, right? So when you're pitching, knowing, because we're not talking to investors right now, we're talking to the connection points. The idea that the president of this association can introduce you to improve 20%, like that's huge in the brewery world. That is huge. And so I want that to be the element, and also just to kind of explain how the lasers, like I tried.
Yeah. No, you did it. You did great. You did
shoot losers. So, but what I want you to do, Maria, I want anything that you liked about the feedback in the chat, right? There's some great feedback points there. Any of our feedback, grab the notes. We'll make sure that you get a recording of this as well.
Awesome.
And let's try to level this up and really strike a chord. Okay. And as you go through the journey of getting investment or customers or advisors, right, you'll realize that as you start to pitch, it's always good to ask who the person is, right? And then, dial up, dial down in terms of the technology versus the money versus any of the other components, right? So glad you found value, Maria. Thank you for joining.